The Harry Potter books are evil and must be banned. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario.
Woohoo! Let's go!
All right, so the world is going nuts. The world is going nuts. But before I get into that, as some of you may have noticed, I did not do the rewrite of Game of Thrones yesterday. I took the day off. I was here in studio, but it was a very like a quick visit to the studio. I needed to edit the podcast, and that was kind of a mess because the system is having some issues. Anyway, you guys don't care about that, so it doesn't matter. Point is, I decided against doing the podcast yesterday. I took the day off. I finally, some relaxation, and but I will continue it next week. The rewrite of Game of Thrones is a Monday thing. It feels like a Monday vibe. It's a way to start the week. Today's a Tuesday, and I saw this headline that really caught my attention. But in other news, before I get into that, I also went and saw Korn with 9 Inch Nails yesterday, which was one hell of a show. It was a hell of a show. We kind of had this debate going on before we got there between me and a friend. Who's going to be the opener? Like who opens for her? Who opens for who? Duh, idiot. Who opens for who? I mean, if it's Alice in Chains and Korn, I thought the closer was going to be Alice in Chains. Turns out I was wrong. And Korn puts on a hell of a show. It was not jarring, but it was shocking to hear Jonathan Davis when he said that in October they're celebrating 25 years of Korn. That made me feel very old. Very, very old. But the dude's still rocking, man. 25 years in, his voice has not lowered in quality, so they're doing something right. The show is still great. Alice in Chains was interesting because I don't think I'd ever seen the lead singer's face ever. I was talking about it with my buddies, like, dude, I have no idea who this guy is. I don't think I'd ever seen him before, but his voice is great. So overall, it was a great show. It was a lot of fun to be out there. Always great to see a live show. Live music in general is just always great. I prefer when they actually put on a bit of a performance, not just go out there and play. Like, I'm paying to see you live. Do something. At least shout, San Diego, and everybody's like, something. Do something. Interact with the people. When you're just out there and playing, sure, the music is great, but give a little extra. Give a little extra, Just try it. Just try it. You might like it. Anyway, so I did that yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Well, overall, the weekend was pretty interesting. I went to a pañaliza. Pañaliza, for those of you who don't know, that's in Mexico, that's the male equivalent of a baby shower, because my older brother, he's having a baby. It's due any day now. So what guys do is we get together, we bring like a whole bunch of booze, and there's usually food there, but it's just guys getting together, bring a whole bunch of booze, and everybody brings like a pack of diapers or something. And that's called a pañaliza. Pañal is Spanish, it's diaper in Spanish. And it's a lot of fun. It's just a bunch of dudes getting drunk. We played beer pong. Me and my buddy Ernie beat my brother and his buddy Javier. So suck it, we won. Anyway, so I want to get into this Harry Potter thing, but let's get a little Harry Potter theme going on, right? I forgot it starts really slow, but it's a great song overall. Boom, 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 boom. Anyway, I'll leave it on in the background for a little bit. Anyway, so I saw this story, and I felt embarrassed. I felt a little bit embarrassed, and I'll explain why. So here's the headline. The headline says, Harry Potter books removed from school library because they contain real curses and spells. So apparently pastor from a school in Tennessee called St. Edward's Catholic School in Nashville, Tennessee, has removed the internationally best-selling Harry Potter books from its libraries. So it's, Reverend Dan Rehill. So I felt embarrassed because I grew up Catholic, and seeing stories like this, it makes me feel embarrassed sometimes for being Catholic. Like, oh my God, this is why they think we're stupid. This is why people think religion is stupid. And you're giving them, the critics a pretty solid argument there, guy. But my take on religion is I don't really care that much. I grew up that way. To me, it's, in the end, just be a good person. It doesn't really matter who you believe in or what you believe in. Just be a good person every single day of your life. You'll be fine. I'm lazy that way. But Catholics have always been kind of like the lazy religion. To me, it's the easiest one. It's like, to me, it's been really cool. Like, oh, I'm sorry for this. Okay, you're forgiven. You're done. You're in heaven now. All you have to do is apologize. And you have to mean it. But, I mean, ideally, you can just wait till the end and just do it. So it's always been like the easy one. It doesn't really require you to do much. You just are. And so it's always been really, really easy for me. But anyway, so I don't really care much about that stuff. But I did grow up Catholic. Most of my family, I think, most of my family members are Catholic. And so hearing stuff like this makes me feel embarrassed and ashamed because you sound fucking insane. However, let's get a little bit deeper into the story. And before, you know what? Let me share a story. I remember this is the moment where I thought, you guys are idiots. Like that was the moment where I realized that, you guys maybe have a screw loose. So back in the day, when I was a teenager, when I was young, I don't know if you guys remember back in the early 2000s, or I mean, I guess they still sell them, but there were shirts with had dragons and stuff. So the point is, I had a shirt that had a dragon on it, a Chinese dragon. I thought really cool because I thought it was really cool because I like dragons. So I was wearing it and I was helping my mom do some stuff, and I think she was donating stuff to a church. So I helped her do that. So anyway, I'm walking around. I have my shirt with the dragon on. And and this priest walks up to me, and he's like, "You should not be wearing that. That's the dragon's the symbol of the devil. You shouldn't." And I was like, "But it's a Chinese dragon, and it's cool." It's like, "No, you shouldn't be wearing it. It's satanic. You should not wear shirts like that. It's evil." And at that point, I was like, "What? It's a shirt with a Chinese dragon, and the Chinese think that the dragon is a symbol of light and wisdom and good. So it's just a different perspective from the West and the East." So, and also their culture is like 3,000 years old. So how do we know if we're right and they're wrong? But I mean, obviously I didn't say that to him because you don't want to argue with an old priest who's actually mean. I said it in a really nice way. He was kind of mean about it. He was like actually offended that I was wearing a dragon shirt. But to me, I started realizing like, dude, you believe in dragons. that was my takeaway from that. Is like, dude, dragons are real. I mean, I knew in my heart of hearts that dragons weren't real, but 13-year-old me is like, you only feared because it's real, so dragons are real. So that was my takeaway. That was my big takeaway from that in conversation. That dude's crazy, and he thinks the dragons are real. I know they're not real, but he thinks they're real, so he's cuckoo, and I'm not. Anyway, that's my story of when I realized that you guys maybe take it too far. Anyway, let me read you the statement from Reverend Dan Rehill, and I will read it in the voice that I kind of heard it in my head when I read the story. So here it goes. These books present magic as both good and evil, which is not true, but in fact a clever deception. The curses and spells used in these books are actual curses and spells, which when read by a human being risk conjuring evil spirits into the presence of the person reading the text. So, end quote, by the way. So, there's a lot there, guy. There's a lot. Okay. For starters, and I need to clarify, this guy says that he reached out and consulted with exorcists from the Vatican and the U.S. So first off, if anybody out there knows an exorcist in the U.S. or even or a Spanish one or in Mexico, anybody knows an exorcist, send him my way. I have a billion questions to ask. Please call out anybody out there. If you know an exorcist, send him my way. I have a lot of things I need to ask this person. I could have a days long conversation with these people. Anyway, second thing, good that you reached out for an authority figure. You didn't say who it was, and I'm guessing it's because they're secret exorcists. But anyway, doesn't matter. The big thing here is, okay, these books represent magic as both good and evil, which is not true, but in fact a clever deception. Okay, so far, I'm with you. The story shows that magic is both good and evil, but it depends on the person who is wielding the magic. So if you're a good person, you're using magic for good purposes, the magic is good. Basically, it's about an individual thing, all right? Individuals are good or evil. Magic is not good or evil. It's how you use it. And Harry Potter is a beautiful story of a boy and his friends facing up against evil, becoming a hero. Facing a whole bunch of tragedy in the way, by the way. So he encounters a whole shitstorm of stuff and manages to become the hero that he was destined to be. It's a beautiful story. Harry Potter's a beautiful story about becoming a man, becoming growing up, becoming a wizard. It's a great story. It's a great story about friendship. It's a beautiful thing. And again, good people use magic in good ways. Now, is power? Let's associate magic with power here. Is power? Can people be corrupted by power? Sure. The thing is, you need to teach people how to wield it. In this case, power is magic. Power could be money. Power could be strength. Power could be a lot of things. It's all about how you raise people. So up to that point, you're wrong. Magic is neither good nor evil. Okay? It's the person who does it. I see your point, but you're wrong. It's not a clever deception. You're just misreading the books. Second part, the curses and spells used in the books are actual curses and spells, which when read by human beings risk conjuring evil spirits into the presence of the person reading the text. So, this is where the fun part begins. First off, if you're claiming that when you read these books, you are risking conjuring evil spirits into the presence of the person reading it, I'm assuming you had to read the books to verify that the spells were real. Meaning that you were conjuring evil spirits while you were reading it. So while you were doing your research, you were conjuring the evil spirits because you read them. I'm assuming you had to read the books in order to find all that out. And then you send the fucking books over to the fucking Vatican and they have to read it and they're conjuring evil spirits there. So, the fuck, guy? Conjuring evil spirits everywhere. And I'm assuming you have to read through the whole thing. You have to verify. You have to go do a whole bunch of research backwards. So, all right. Research. a lot of evil spirits being conjured. I mean, and I'm assuming they're evil spirits because he says they're evil spirits. They could be nice spirits. They could be Casper. Anyway, so you're a dumbass, number one, right there. That's a pretty simple one. And here's maybe an even bigger one. You're 20 years too late, guy. 20 years too fucking late. These books have been read by everybody and their mother. Well, not everybody, because most people just saw the movies. But again, when they saw the movies, I'm guessing it's conjuring the same thing. So, 20 years too fucking late. The damage is already fucking done. It's already done. Third, if I am a kid and I read somewhere that a priest believes that the curses and spells used in these books are actual curses and spells, I'm gonna go read the fucking book. Because what I understood from that sentence is magic is real. And if I read that thing, I will learn magic. So you're inviting people to go and read the books and try out the spells more, you dumb shit. This is called the Streisand effect. For those of you who don't know, the Streisand effect came when Barbara Streisand complained that a picture of her house was published on a magazine, and she filed a lawsuit saying, like, I'll remove my house from that certain thing. And since she mentioned that it was her house, now everybody wanted to go to her house and see it. It became, like, it just put a whole bunch of spotlights on the fucking house because she didn't want anybody to see it. So by not wanting somebody to see something, you make more people want to see it. That's called the Streisand effect. I think I explained that very, very rather poorly, but at the end I got into the right spot. Anyway, this is what you're doing there, guy, by saying you do not want to read these books. They have curses and spells and are evil. A part of you is like, dude, is that real? Is that for real? Like, can we actually try? And you know what kids are? Kids are stupid, and kids will want to try stuff because it sounds cool. And if I was a teenager. You know, I was a teenager, and somebody says, you cannot read those extremely popular books that are based on movies that you've already seen that you already liked. You can't read them because they have actual magic in them and spells and are evil. I'm going to be like, get me those fucking books now. I need to read them. I want to learn magic. I want to be Gandalf. Screw Harry Potter. I want to be Gandalf. I want to learn all these magic stuff. So, you're an idiot number 2 right there. And because this expands so much, all the way to the Vatican. So honestly, I can't even say that I can't verify because there's no verifiable evidence that he actually went to the Vatican and there's actually exorcists out there. But I just don't understand what the big deal is. Actually, you know what? Kudos to J.K. Rowling for doing that amount of research. Like, if you actually did the whole bunch of research on making magic real, J.K. Rowling, good on you. If you wrote books with actual fucking spells and curses, good on fucking you. The books are already fantastic. All the fucking rewrite that you've done afterwards, you're an idiot. And retconning stuff, you're an idiot. But when you wrote the books, they were great. Trying to rewrite history makes you kind of an idiot, JK. But you know what? It's okay. We can forgive it. Anyway, but yeah, the books are great. And they wrap everything up and they're genius. And if she actually went and put actual Satanist spells in it, that's fucking hysterical. It's freaking hysterical. Now, I want to read the Harry Potter books again. Because, you know what? I read them the first time. So far, if that got me some evil spirits following me around, they've been cool. So, you know what? I might even get cooler ones this time. Point is, everything's stupid and everybody's an idiot. And, you know, sometimes they just bring me joy. Stupid people like this bring me joy. Anyway, that's it. For those of you who are wondering, the reason why he was able to do this, according to the superintendent of schools of the Catholic Diocese, is each pastor has canonical authority to make such decisions for his parish school. He's well within his authority to act in that manner. So, basically, you're allowed to have an idiot. You're allowed to be an idiot if you have power. You know, like magic. He'd be Voldemort. I'm sorry, I said his name. Whoops. No, he'd be no, it's not even Snape. Who would he be? What's the name of the pink lady? I always forget. That's like the most evil character in Harry Potter, according to Stephen King, and I always forget her freaking name. This is going to drive me nuts. Let me see. Pink lady. Dolores Umbridge. Thank you. He's like Dolores Umbridge, you know, wielding magic for evil. In this case, wielding power for evil, which is taking, you know, a beautiful story with a great lesson away from kids. So, shame on you. Shame on you. You're an idiot. Anyway, that's it for today. For any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram. I also forgot to mention you can listen to the podcast in the iHeartRadio app. Just type in the show presents Super Dario World. You can also find it on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Super Dario World Podcast. Did I say Instagram already? At Dario the Show. You can find me there. That's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Have a nice day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.